Hello, good morning. It is 7:48 a.m. here on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. Coming from the coal mine region. And we're going to unmold a few items here. We'll start with our bracelet. And these all came out of the pressure pot. These sat more than 24 hours because I was really tired last night. And of course, I used the Epox A-Cast 690 from Smoothon. Gotta love that. Nice and clear. Looks pretty. That is a Cast Magic Bronzanker and some clear on top of that. Cute. Very cute. This mold has really been used a lot. Starting to dry out a little bit. Oh. Okay. Trying to get some more light on the situation here. So this here is a giant Guage earring. And this was an experiment. Get the video going here on my other phone. So this is an experiment mold, and this is what I molded it from. And this is where you slide this onto your ear. And they actually look really pretty when they're on. At least when my daughter wears them, she looks pretty stunning. She's stunning anyway. So, let's see how this comes out. I used the Epox A-Cast 690 from smoothon.com. Reynolds Advanced Materials from Guage, Allentown, Pennsylvania. I just have to loosen this up because this was a tough mold. I'll have to tell you. I had to cut it a little bit and open it up, and so like I said, it's an experiment. So we're gonna see how it comes out. I could see it's gonna need some sanding already, but that's a given. It's still a little pliable. It's been in the mold over 24 hours now. The Epox A-Cast has a 24-hour cure time, but it's not set until a week. Wow, this is tough. How did I get that original out? Okay. It's starting to come out. Okay, we got it. Now we just have to bend it back into place. So because of the splits in the mold, we just have to clean this up a little bit. It came out lovely. I just have to sand the back or take some epoxy cast on a popsicle stick and let it drip in and fill that up and then let that sit and then sand it. So the back of it's going to need some work from the opening of the mold. But this, I'm surprised that it came out as well as it did. Um, I think it looks beautiful. So I am going to try to make another mold so that when I make them or she makes them, I'm going to be teaching her how to do this art of resin casting the molds and making molds. But I want to have two of them so that because I want my coloring to be even. So I hope I can mix the next batch as light as this one because I didn't use a whole lot of this. I'll show you what I used. I used this, and these are $4.95 for that jar right there. Right? That's crazy, right? Beautiful, beautiful product and beautiful price. You just can't go wrong with that. It's called smoothon Cast Magic Bronze Anchor, and that's a really, really beautiful, beautiful color. Let's get a picture of that before I forget. These are pictures from my Instagram and my website. Like to get them while they're hot. I think she's going to be happy with that. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of work, and I need to make sure that when I dry it, like it's not like that. It has to have the right amount of space so that it goes back on the ear correctly. So we're going to leave it dry in that shape right there. Really, really happy with that. I wasn't sure how that mold was going to come out, but I ended up making a few slice marks there, and it really came out really nice. I can't wait to show her. And then I made a German dish mold. This is a Essenbach porcelain from Germany. And we're going to do this. It's my first time casting in this mold. I hope it came out okay. Okay, I feel it releasing underneath. There we go. Wow, that came out so beautiful. Oh, look how beautiful. That's epoxy cast $6.90. And look how beautiful. Gosh, that's beautiful. So I'm going to be having this mold for sale. It's going to be a made-to-order mold. So on all my mold orders, I ask for 2 weeks shipping. A lot of times I mail them out a lot faster, but if I get a dozen orders or 20 orders at once, I make them in the order that they're received, and then sometimes it could take up to 2 weeks. So just want to put that out there. You just need to give me a little bit of time because I'm only one person, and I do the best I can. And all my orders, you're going to get sick of hearing me say this, all my orders are going to be made in a pressure pot. Okay? So the mold's going to be pressurized, and anything that's ordered. Like I can sell these individually. They'll all be made in a pressure pot with no bubbles. So anyone purchasing one of my molds now, they will be pressurized, and you can use them in your pressure pot then. So high quality molds are coming out, and that's what you're getting now. And I am so in love with this. I have another one I'm going to make. It's a little bit different. You could see shaped a little bit different there. So that'll be the next one that I'm going to make. I think they're adorable, 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 adorable. So cute. And I'm glad that really worked out. The one shell was like a pearl, and it's just sticking out a little bit there, but not a big deal really. It's still in there and it's not going anywhere. Very cool. Really excited about this one. That and the earring really came out nice. And the size of that dish is just under 3 inches. That's just under 3 inches. And the weight of the mold is 4.55 ounces. So I consider all that when I do my pricing. Okay, I'm excited. I'm so excited right now. Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to show my daughter. Okay, I thought my film was off already. Okay. Beautiful. Unbelievable how beautiful they came out. Really excited. Pressure pot makes a world of difference, but I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and get a pressure pot because they're super expensive. What I am saying is that the molds you'll be getting from me will be quality molds, and any castings will be. So, all right. So I used, let's see. Yeah, when I did this, I used, this is epoxy candy. It's like an ultraviolet color. I don't have the paper. Wait, I do. And it's kind of faded. Let's see. It's called Metallic Powder Pigment Violet, Transviolet. This one. I don't know if you could see. It's too bright. Too bright to see the purple hue on that. Sorry about that. So when I open up my molds, I squirt some liquid down into the side here. I don't like to wrestle with my stuff. All right. And then it's hard to grip once you put a little liquid on there. So I wrap it in a cloth. And I sort of wiggle it. Why don't you wiggle it just a little bit? And then I usually have to do it twice. Okay. So I don't know if you can see the beautiful violet shimmer on that. That was really beautiful though. Little difficult to see. A little bit difficult. Okay. Pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I trim my stuff up as soon as I take it out, if I can. So these go, I put a little screw hook in there, and then they could be hung on a chain as a pendulum, which are awesome to use if you know how to use them. They work amazingly well for me. Oh, I think I lost one of my little guys from last night. I get so cluttered up here once I start opening stuff. I have to put my things in storage boxes right away, or they'll end up in piles. They'll end up in piles like this. I'll show you this dish. Piles, see? Piles. I took these out to work on them, sand them down a little bit, but I'm getting a table grinder and buffer, so I was kind of waiting until that happened. Oh, let's see. So this is a little pendant. I do have these for sale on the website, the molds for these. You could make earrings out of them or pendants. Oh, okay. So I see what happened here. This I have to sand down. So this mold was made before I had my pressure pot going. So this is a good example. I don't know if you could see it, but when you use a mold that has not been pressurized and you put the epoxy or resin in it and you put it into the pressure pot, any air bubbles that were in this mold, the resin's going to get pushed into and you're going to get little pimples. So I don't know if you could see. You see the little eruptions coming out the sides? Now, if I were to just cast this with resin in this mold, you wouldn't see those. But because it's pressurized, everything's pushed into any openings. So for this to be useful, I would have to sand that down then, which I will do at some point, sand it down. And that's the ultraviolet from Epoxy Candy, the transviolet, that color. That's pretty. And I have another one. Another one with pimples on it. I forget about that. I get so involved trying to use up the rest of my epoxy that I just completely forget about, the best things to do and not to do. And this is a little unicorn that I did. This one's been sitting well over 24 hours. I could not open it last night because it was too pliable. And I said I was coming back to do another live, but I couldn't stay awake. I have to listen to my body. I did wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, though, but I stayed in bed. So that's a transviolet. Damn light. A transviolet. Still can't see that violet. And I'm still not good at this, using this webcam now that I can't use my mobile phone on YouTube. So you see what happened to this? I had a few pieces I had to pick off of this. That's because I didn't take the time to clean off the edges of my mold. So now if I'm doing a mold and the epoxy leaks over the edge, it rips off the old stuff too. So I just have to sit and, who's got time to sit and pick at the molds? Not me lately, but I'm not complaining. My artists are happy. So that's my little unicorn. I have a whole bag of these. I've been making these since June or July of last year. And we're now in April. So I do have a whole bag of these that I've been making. Whenever I have leftover epoxy, I grab from my little mold so I'm not wasting it. I'm sure all of us do that. So these little buggers, and they can be buggers to get out. Let's see, where are we? This mold isn't so bad on my hands. The other first one that I had like this was, I don't know what the batch was that they used, but I could barely open it. Barely. And you see, I still struggle, but I just don't have strength in my hands. You always got to fix your tip when you take these out. So that little guy will be listed on the website once I get the little doohickey in there. They're very pretty. The violet's very pretty. But I bought some new stuff yesterday that I want to try. I bought a silver bullet, which is a casting powder. I believe it's going to turn silver. And I bought a pearly blue. So the blue, this shines violet from epoxy candy, and this one from smoothon shines blue. I'm going to try that one out. Probably tonight. I won't be casting right now because it's still early in the morning and I need to go make my green smoothie. I still have some of these that I haven't opened. And these are a bugger. These are a bugger on my hands too. So what I do is I pull them back a little bit again and I hold it back and I squirt a little liquid in there. And then I twist. And it pops right out. So that's the bronze anchor. It's a really beautiful, sparkly bronze from smoothon. Because I am the smoothon girl. It's my company. I love that. It's my favorite place. Classes were great there yesterday. And they give classes in, they're located all over the world. Their main office is Hollywood, California, because their products are used in movie props all the time. And I'm just so fortunate that they are so close to where I live here. And the staff there, they are amazing. They are so knowledgeable, so nice. They make everything so easy when you're trying to figure out how to do something. They're really spectacular. Really love them. Big shout out to Rick Harris, Michelle, Greg. Brad was there yesterday in the class, and the lady at the front desk, and I keep forgetting her name. She works with Michelle in the front. Name begins with a K. Gosh, I can't remember her name. It's a beautiful name. That's why I can't remember it, because it's not an ordinary name. But they are all so helpful. It's so wonderful. And I have to say, if Rick didn't answer my question on the email and tell me, come on down and check it out, and then he gave me a tour of the place, I'll tell you what, they changed my life. He changed my life that day. Absolutely changed my life. Nothing has been the same. And I think it's great. So it's smooth-on.com. Cool. Needs a little bit of sanding, but no big deal. These little guys, I'll tell you, they're a pain in the butt, but they are pretty cool once they come out. Just for us old folks, they're a pain. I wish I knew about all this stuff when I was young. But it's okay. Having the time of my life now. I wouldn't have had time raising 4 kids to play with all this kind of stuff, that's for sure. No doubt. That many kids, we only cook, clean, and mother. That's all we can do. Papa! It's a bronze anchor cylinder. Okay, come on, you can do it. I usually have to do it twice. Get them loosened up and go back in again with the liquid. You can use water. I tend to use alcohol because that's what sits next to me. I use water when I release some of my molds. What do you think about that? They're cute. I have a whole bag of these in all different colors. I just keep saving them up till I get time to do something with them. So this one is the one that I had difficulty with. And these aren't my molds. These are molds that I got off of wish.com. And I cut this mold back. What did I do? I'll show you. See, they're the same, but I cut the center off the top of it because this one was easy to move around. It's pliable, but this is hard. I don't know why, but it's always been that way. It's always been difficult for me to manipulate this little guy here. And I ended up having to cut it. It's almost had its life. I mean, it's cracking. If you look at it, it's turning white and cracking. It's almost done with its shelf life. I mean, these are cheap molds, so you're not going to get much out of them, that's for sure. But trying to get anything out of it is so hard. It's splitting. There we go. Now I can get it out once I do that. But this is I'll tell you, it's limited. It's going to be done. It's not going to last. I won't even get probably 10 castings out of that yet. Because I could see down here at the bottom, it must be, it's doing something. Yeah, it's missing pieces on the inside now. So that mold's pretty much had it. So I take my jewelry trimmers when I get ones that are odd shaped like this, and I just clip them. On this one, you want to do it, follow the octagon pattern there. And of course, some of them need a little sanding. This one's a little awkward. When I get my table grinder, this will be easier to fix up. So this will just go in the dish over there for when I have time to work on the ones that need work. And it's always best, if we can keep our tools handy. Handy dandy. So I think that is everything. I think I did show this last night. My husband had to get this one out. I have to get used to this camera. Sorry about that. So this mold was a little bit off because I actually had to cut the first mold the first time. And then I taped it together on this side. But it takes a little bit of strength to get this out of there. I'm not going to lie. So I made a couple of these molds because I have to return this. This belongs to someone else. So I'm going to try to make maybe a couple more of these. So if I have these available for sale, I'm only going to have 2 because I'm keeping 2 because I like what they look like. I'm going to be experimenting with them. So I'm probably only going to have 1 or 2 for sale. And they're a pretty heavy mold. That's pretty heavy. I go by the weight of the mold when I set my prices. Yeah, it's almost 8 ounces. So that's a lot of silicone. And I buy it by the pound. All right. So I will come on later. And I did use, what was it on my molds last night? I didn't do it on my, yeah, I did. I used some mold release when I made this. I did spray that with some mold release. And I did spray the little dish. So I'll show you what I used from smoothon, the universal mold release. This is for when you're casting. That's for when you're casting, you use that. So and this one, This one's for when you're doing molds, like if you're going to do silicone over silicone, you use the 200 release. They should be on the website there because in the store they have all kinds. They have all kinds of numbers on them and really good products. So check out the smoothon.com. They really rock. And that's it for now. I will be back later on. I'm going to cast another earring tonight in the mold. I'm going to do another dish. I'm going to build a mold for my silicone mold here that I'm going to be casting in. I'm not going to show that one until I know that it works out, because that's going to be a new product. So we're going to keep that one for future knowledge. Maybe we'll do another bracelet. These bracelets are terrible. They don't fit an adult. So I need to find molds. If anyone knows where I can get a mold that actually fits an adult in one of the thin bracelets, let me know, please. Because this one that came with the jewelry molds that I got, this is a child. I mean, my hands aren't that big. My hands are pretty skinny. My wrists are pretty skinny. I can't get it up on my hand. So rock on, make something beautiful, and we'll see you real soon. Ciao.